We need to make sure that there is a way to win whatever it is we're struggling about. We have to make sure that there's a victory that can be involved. One of the things Beckwith says here, it's easy to describe extreme and global problems like poverty and other kinds of things, but it's not likely those will be winnable. We got to make sure that it's winnable. It's something we can do. If we could eliminate poverty, yeah, that would be immediate and great and everything, but if it's not winnable, it won't be a good issue to cut. When we cut an issue, we have to do a calculation. We have to balance out all the different things, the factors on the other side, the factors on our side, to see whether this issue is the correct way to try to approach that problem. But cutting an issue is an important thing that Beckwith points out. But the issue needs to be immediate, specific, realizable, or winnable. And then Beckwith goes into the 10th thing. He found the other 9 or something. But the first rule is nobody's going to come to a meeting unless they got a reason to come. I know we have lots of meetings. Sometimes people don't show up. We try to figure it out. But bottom line, we have to interpret the issue in relation to the people we anticipate will come. What's going to make them want to come about the issue that we're discussing? And we have to explain the issue in a simple and quick way. Can't be like, if it takes paragraphs and paragraphs, it's not going to work. Because when we get people coming to the meeting, we'll send out flyers. We'll send out mailing. Sometimes we'll do phone raps. You know, all meetings do phone raps. When you're reading off the phone rap, calling people up. But that phone rap has to really get right to the issue and why you need to be here. One example of a call sheet says, "Hi, my name is Carl Raywood, and I'm calling from the Mid-River Neighborhood Organization. Do you have children in school?" Now, when you're preparing a phone rap, you're going to ask that question first, but there's potential responses. So you have a different response to a no as to a yes. You're still trying to get them all to the meeting, but you have a different response. If yes, you say, "We're having a meeting about the playground tomorrow night over at the school at 7:30. Have your children ever been injured on or broken equipment on the playground? Have you ever been cut or hurt on the asphalt? Would you like to have a safe, well-equipped facility to send your children to?" If they say no, you can say, "Have you ever been bothered by the kids hanging out on the corners and playing in the street? Does it bother you that the parks on the other side of the river have brand new equipment and the kids here in the river have to play on the glass and asphalt on broken swings?" I mean, but you plan for that in advance because you're trying to connect with them, connect with what's real for them, and move forward. But they have to have a reason to come to the meeting. So first you have to do simply and quickly explain it. The second aspect of having a reason to come is what's going to happen at the meeting. I'm not coming to the meeting, I'll just sit around the top. What are we going to do at the meeting? Is the mayor going to be there? We're going to jump the mayor because the mayor didn't do this thing? And I got a chance to talk to them. I'm going to have a chance to talk at the meeting. We have to put a human face on the problem. People need to know that they can talk about their problem in the meeting in front of every person that's there if they choose to, but we have to give them a reason to come. So the first rule was nobody's going to come to the meeting unless you give them a reason to come. The second rule is nobody's going to come unless they know about it. So a lot of times I know we got this thing at home now. You guys can get it too. It's called robocalling. There's a little cheap program. It costs $100, but you put your mailing list in there and it calls everybody and tells them whatever you recorded to tell them. Now that's one thing, but if you think that alone will get people to the meeting, you know, you're mistaken. But that's a good another contact that you can have. You still need to send out the mail. You still need to do the phone calls. People who get a written communication and a personal phone call from a person, not a robot. If you call 100 people, 10's will come. If you contact 100 people with both mail and phone, direct person-to-person contact, out of 100, 10 will come. That's a ratio that we can kind of think about. So we really need to focus in on that to make sure that we're contacting people on time. The meeting's tomorrow, you give me notice today. What happens? You know, it's got to really be timely, got to get people there. Just knowing that we meet every Thursday, that's not enough. If they don't get the phone call and the written thing about the meeting every Thursday, don't mean nothing. You know, we'll get some people, but we'll get way more as long as we make, or at least those 2 contacts, one in writing and one with personal discussion. Face-to-face is even better. If you see them at a meeting yesterday, you might be able to get them somewhere today, even. If you see them face-to-face and you talk to them, depending on which relationship it is. The third rule, if an organization doesn't grow, it will die. It's important that you focus on new people that come to your meetings. Somebody new came to your meeting, never been here before, don't say, "What are you doing here? Why are you here?" Don't say that. We got to have somebody that welcomes them and sits with them. You know, and you know who that person is in your organization, because everybody's not appropriate to do that. But you need to have somebody that greets folks when they come to your organization, make sure they feel welcome, make sure they get plugged into some activity that's reasonable for them to do as soon as possible, because that's the future of your organization. If the organization doesn't grow, it will die. Whenever we have an issue, each issue we pick too, we should pick issues that bring new folks to us. We shouldn't pick an issue because it's what we want. We should pick an issue about who else will come here based on this issue that we pick. Because we want the issue to help bring new people into the thing as well. The other thing is, in our organizations, we all got families and lives and other stuff. 24/7 is all good, but for real, we do 24/7 for 1 week, and then next week, it's not 24/7. Things happen. So that's another reason why you really got to grow your organization, because our life, the rhythm of our life changes, and we have other things each of us have to do. And when the rhythm of our life dictates we can't be here, somebody's rhythm or somebody else's life say this is the perfect time for me to be here. So we really need to develop that. Rule 4 is anyone can be a leader. The best leaders are people who have rose to the occasion. We're supposed to have a spokesperson tomorrow for the press. Person can't be there. You'd be great to do. Step to it. You know, you got to get people to step to those responsibilities and step up to the leadership. And sometimes they make the best leaders. And it's usually not the people that do that, that's fine. They're probably going to do a good job. But you're also trying to build your organization and train new leaders. So it's really important to have people step to it who wouldn't raise their hand initially. But hopefully you can encourage some people to participate in ways they didn't participate before. You say, I'll pick you up beforehand, I'll brief you on the way over there to the press conference. We'll be able to do it that way. Rule 5, the most important victory is the group itself. It's not so much what you're trying to win. In the Hill District in Pittsburgh, it's not the community benefits agreement. It's One Hill in the consensus group and now the Hill District Planning Forum. The organizations that came out of it are what the real victory is. Because the CBA is a headache. It's nice we have it, but it's a headache. It's some paper that we got to figure out what to do with and how to do it, all that kind of thing. But now we have an organization that can help do it. More of an organization. We're better organized. But the group itself is the victory, because empowerment is what we're really after. Empowerment, that word is funny. Sometimes we use it as a verb. Like, I'm going to empower you. That's not it. Empowerment got to come from inside. It has to come from inside. An organization has to empower itself.